Hello gamers, I hope you're having a great week this week. I'm here for another week of gaming news, discussing the good and not so good news with gaming this week. A lot of studio layoffs. Finally, after 10 years, we're getting a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. Insomniac has announced that there's a new main Spidey for the Marvel Spider-Man series of games, to much people's dismay. A live-action Zelda movie has been announced, and Modern Warfare 3 campaign is getting some serious backlash. But before we get into that, let's get into the games coming to PlayStation Plus and Game Pass this month. And starting off with games coming to PlayStation Plus is Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. Mafia 2 is a third-person open-world action-adventure game that takes place in the mid-1940s to early 1950s in a city that takes influence from New York called Empire Bay. You play as Vito. After returning from World War II, he ends up entangled with a mafia family to pay off his father's debt. Shoot, perform heists, and blow your way through this beautiful 1940s open-world environment. Mafia 2 originally released 13 years ago. This is a remastered version that came out with some technical issues, but still is a great pickup for free. Dragon Ball Breakers. Dragon Ball Breakers is an online survival game that has you playing as one of Dragon Ball's big bads, such as Frieza, Cell, Kid Buu, and more. You fly around an open area looking for civilians to absorb to transform into a more powerful form of that character. Or you play as a civilian, using strategies, devices, and power-ups to temporarily transform into a version of a main Dragon Ball Z character like Goku, Trunks, Tien, and etc. The game has some technical issues and limitations, with the camera being complete garbage, cutting into walls as you play, but it still looks kinda interesting. And then we have Alien Fireteam Elite. Fireteam Alien Elite is a third-person co-op shooter set in the Ridley Scott Alien franchise. Play with friends or single player throughout this cold, gritty world as you blast your way through alien hordes. Games coming to Game Pass. Game Pass November lineup is looking great. First off, on November 9th, we got games sneakily added like EA's Wild Heart. Wild Heart is a crazy hunting game that allows you to hunt these crazy beasts using technology to bring them down. It kind of reminds me of Monster Hunter, EA's Monster Hunter, but apparently there's a lot of differences to it, so you might want to give it a try. Then we're getting Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. This is the newest title, a part of the Yakuza Like a Dragon franchise. Like a Dragon Ishin also dropping on Game Pass a bit earlier. Like a Dragon Gaiden has you playing as Kazuma Kiryu, a man who faked his own death and abandoned his name to protect his family. Now he has been put in a situation by a mysterious figure attempting to expose him and drive him out of hiding. Later this month, we're also getting games like Persona 5 Tactica on November 16th, Spirit Tea on November 12th, and Roller Drone on November 28th. First, let's get into the not so good news with these crazy layoff stories. Bungie, Epic, and Ubisoft have laid over 100 plus employees off. Bungie, the studio that created the classic franchise Halo and the Destiny series of games, had laid off 100 employees after Destiny 2 underperforming last year and lower than expected pre-orders for the next big expansion for Destiny 2, The Final Shape. The layoffs span to multiple departments within Bungie. This is coming a year of some change after Sony's acquisition of Bungie in July of 2022. Bungie is taking responsibilities for the layoffs though, and not laying it at the feet of Sony. Although a former employee recalled Bungie after the Sony acquisition ensuring that there would be no layoffs. 1.2 billion of the nearly 4 billion from the acquisition was allocated towards staff retention. Now 100 employees are out of the job. On to Epic Games. Epic Games has laid off 830 employees, or 60% of the jobs, of which 2/3 of the layoffs are outside of the core development team. This is after reports saying after 5 years of business, Epic Games Store is still unprofitable. Epic's higher-ups tried reallocating money from events and etc. to keep the company afloat, but could not manage it and had to go towards layoffs instead. And last but not least, Ubisoft layoffs. Ubisoft, the company that bought us franchises like Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and more, has laid off 124 employees, 98 of which are based in Canada, affecting the business administration services and IT teams from Hybrid VFX Studio in Montreal and Ubisoft Global IT team, in an effort to reorganize their Canada studios. This isn't the only layoffs Ubisoft has had this year alone. Ubisoft also has shut down a mobile studio, Ubisoft London, earlier this year. And in early April, they also shut down their Ubisoft Bullux office due to multiple factors, one of which being physical game sales falling as the gaming industry moves more towards a digital way of playing games. These are just some of the bigger studios suffering for layoffs. There is layoffs and cutbacks throughout the whole gaming industry. Grand Theft Auto 6 has a trailer on the horizon. Rockstar has announced that early next month they will be releasing a trailer for the long-awaited sequel to GTA 5. Next month will be Rockstar Games' 25th anniversary, and they are celebrating by releasing a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 that looks to be returning to Miami, a location where previous games, Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Vice City Stories, took place. Some fans of the series have been waiting a long time for a new GTA game. It has been over a decade since we got a new GTA game, not counting the shitty GTA Trilogy remaster we got 2 years ago. Although Rockstar has continuously updated and added content to GTA Online to keep players fed, some are eager to get to play in the new environment and try a new single-player story. GTA 5 single-player story hasn't gotten any DLC release, leaving some, including myself, disappointed. I'm also curious how the story for GTA 6 is going to play out. Will we have multiple characters, like in GTA 5, or will we return to single-character stories like we did in the other games? How far are they going to take this one? A lot of people don't know, but GTA Online is fucking bananas. Flying cars shooting missiles, flying bikes shooting missiles, orbital strikes, juggernaut armor, underground work bunkers, drug labs, marijuana labs, and more. So I'm like, are we going to outer space or some shit? Like, what are they going to do to top that? Or are we going to get more of the same? I'm hoping we get a glimpse of that in the upcoming trailer. I hope it's some gameplay and not just a story trailer, but I'm fine with that too. And will GTA 6's online connect to GTA 5's online? Or will there be some new sort of online that is separate? Will we be able to jump from Los Santos to Miami from the online part? It would kind of suck if we had to leave our shit we paid for and work for in GTA 5 and it doesn't carry over to the new game. But then again, if you have everything from GTA 5 online, it will make shit easier for you, so it'll be way more boring. On to other news. We got confirmation from Nintendo that a live-action Zelda movie is in the works. This movie is being announced after an incredible, successful Super Mario Bros. Movie was released earlier this year. And the sequel to Breath of the Wild released in May of this year as well. Tears of the Kingdom. Now we're getting a movie. It makes me wonder what the storyline is going to be, because the Legend of Zelda games have multiple timelines. I'm hoping the movie is taking place around the Ocarina of Time timeline. That is the most legendary game in the series and a fan favorite. Unless Breath of the Wild has taken its place as the #1 Zelda game in the franchise. But making a Breath of the Wild movie is hard if they're going for trying to free the Divine Beast and the Guardians. This kind of adaptation would be better for a series than a movie. So I'm definitely thinking Ocarina of Time. Or they will make a new story for the movie. I'm hoping we'll get more information soon. On to Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 dropped on November 10th. For those who pre-ordered the game, they got early access to the campaign on November 2nd. And players are pissed. They're saying this is the worst Call of Duty campaign ever. The reviews on Steam are mostly negative, which is crazy because a lot of fans are saying this is the worst campaign, not just from reviewers, but hardcore fans as well, saying that missions are boring and dull and the campaign only lasts 3 hours. In this Call of Duty, they introduced a more open area mission approach, where instead of the linear missions approach in previous Call of Duty games, we are instead getting an open space area where there are multiple objectives, and we choose where the objective we go to first, in whatever form of playstyle you want, stealth or guns blazing. And well, it's not working out too well. The Steam reviews speak volumes, and we are not finished with Call of Duty apparently, because I currently don't own an Xbox, but Microsoft is running ads for Modern Warfare as soon as you turn on your Xbox. Like, press the button, power on the screen, and then straight up Modern Warfare 3 ad. Even if you are not interested in Call of Duty, and you don't have any history playing Call of Duty games, you still will get an ad. This is very intrusive. And what makes it worse is the fact that this is one of the worst Call of Duty campaigns in history. I also heard that this game is having some technical difficulties opening the game, but that could just be a PC issue. Nonetheless, this is still a horrible week for Call of Duty players. Insomniac Spider-Man 2 just released in October to great reviews. Some people are still experiencing the well-crafted story and exploring the vast New York City Insomniac gave us. No spoilers, but at the end, it was kind of explained that Miles is going to be the new main Spidey for the Marvel Spider-Man games going forward. The reason I'm telling you is because Insomniac is spilling the beans. In a recent update from the studio, they announced that Miles is now taking the place of the main Spider-Man in new games. To much fans was meh. Although this doesn't mean Peter Parker Spider-Man is out of the picture, fans still want Peter Parker to be the main Spidey. Especially because, no spoilers, but it's been kinda teased that the next game's main villains are personally connected to Peter Parker. So it really doesn't make any sense for Miles to be the new main Spidey, and personally I agree. Peter Parker should be the main Spider-Man throughout the main games, especially if the main story is going to build up his main villains. I want to see Peter Parker take them on, not just Miles. It should be Peter Parker and Miles beside him. But we don't know if Insomniac is going to make Miles the main Spider-Man for the DLC and maybe a spin-off game like how they did with Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and maybe in the beginning of Spider-Man 3 he's still the main Spidey, but part of the way through they make Peter Parker the main Spider-Man again to deal with those villains. That could work. But what do you think? I mean, Peter Parker does need a break. And that's all for the gaming news of the week. Thank you for staying tuned into the end. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you.